Okay, so good morning again. This is for accounting taxation one, which focuses on income taxation. Okay. So before we officially start our discussions on the introduction to taxation, I'd like to introduce myself first. Yung iba, di ko naging students. Yung iba ata naging students na ako. Naging students ko na. Okay? So, but for most of you, I'm not familiar with you guys kasi di ko pa kayo na-handle except for a few which nakilala ko na dati. Okay? So, to start this off, I'm Joseph Tio. You can call me Sir Yo or Sir Joseph. Okay? So, uh, I'm a certified public accountant. I graduated from Ateneo de Zamboanga, March 2015. And after passing the board exams on the same year, I became a CPA and practice. Okay, so ito yung mga saan ako nag-work. From November 15 to April 2016, I worked here in a local company, RT2 Accounting Offices. Afterwards, I went to Manila for almost 2 years and had my work experience as a tax associate for Reyes Sacandog and Company. So if you're familiar, it's one of the rising companies. Okay. uh, I was under the tax division. So that's why sa tax talaga ako. And currently, I'm an instructor with Ateneo de Zamboanga and I'm also a practitioner. I have my own office. Okay, so I'm a tax practitioner and an audit practitioner as well. Okay, so that's me. And I'm currently also taking my MBA. Okay, so for our class, we will have the following grading matrix. Okay, so you have your class standing at 60% and your final examination at 40%. Okay, so for your class standing, it will be composed of three items. So we have a short quiz or quizzes all throughout our classes. So I think I'll give you 3 to 4 quizzes, okay? Tapo for our entire classes na. Okay? So actually it's not short quiz but quizzes, okay? So there will be no long quiz or short quiz, but in between na lang siya, okay? Tapos we will have you'll have a music video presentation later on. I'll discuss this next week. And we have our class participation or recitation, which is 35%. So quizzes is 35, music video is 30, and participation or recitation is 35. So heavy yung participation natin. Every class, I hope na nagpa-participate kayo. Okay? So I already posted some of our resources at I hope na ginagamit at nababasa niyo yun. Kasi so that in class, we could uh, go to discussions already. Okay. So for our discussions or for our weekly topics, so today is week 1. We only have 7 weeks before our final examination. So it's very difficult and kulang talagang time. Okay? Para ma-cover ang entire scope ng taxation. So if you're familiar with taxation, it's a very complex and large topic, especially if you want to cover the entire comprehensive portion, okay, with the problem solving and all. It will take us a lot of weeks actually. Kulang talaga yung 6 weeks to tackle everything. But we'll try to finish everything. That's why I want on your part na you also study and learn, okay, beforehand. So that when we have our classes, mas mabilis na lang. Okay. So please take note. For this week, wala muna tayong recitation kasi this is just our introduction. However, starting starting week 2 to 6, we will have our daily recitation. Okay, so I'll be calling on people to recite on the topic at hand. Okay, so don't expect na there will be a lot of discussions, but yung class natin will focus more on recitation. Okay, so it means that I expect na nabasa nyo na. I'll post the PowerPoints and the videos already beforehand so that you'll be able to learn. Okay? And sa class, isi-synthesize na lang natin kung anong natutunan natin. Yun nga kasi we cannot explain everything given our time. So I also need you guys to do your part and learn when you on your own, when you're at your house, ha? Kasi kulang din talaga yung time. However, don't worry, okay? Uh, I'll try to fit as much as I can into our class. Okay, so for week 2, we will have taxation on individuals, gross income. Week 3, tax on individuals, allowable deductions. Week 4, final income tax. Week 5, tax on corporations. Week 6, filing of returns and comprehensive problems. So week 6 will be the culmination of everything that we have learned from weeks 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? So dito natin, I'll teach you on how to file income tax returns and how to solve comprehensive problems. Okay? And how to solve everything. Okay? And for week 7, we will have our final examination. Okay, so before we proceed, are there any questions? Questions, clarifications? Huwag kayong matakot. By the way, if you have any questions, okay, pwede nyo akong i-PM sa Facebook, okay? You can PM me sa Facebook or sa group chat natin. Monday to Fridays lang, guys, ha? Please avoid okay. Please avoid PMing me during the weekends, okay? Weekends are supposed to be a rest day. So we also deserve some rest, okay? So try to avoid PM uh, ano to? DMing us or DMing me during the weekends, ha? Unless it is really important, okay? Or unless meron talaga kayong gustong malaman or gustong i-convey, you can PM me. Or you can PM your BDEL. Yung BDEL nyo for this class is si Ken, okay? So, siya na mag-PPM sa akin, okay? So, if you have any concerns, you can PM me anytime from Monday to Friday. So, avoid on the weekends, okay? So, that's it. For our quizzes, it's not every day, okay? It's not necessarily na every week or every meeting may quiz tayo, okay? Don't worry, quizzes are announced, okay? So, usually after a discussion or after a topic, we will have a quiz. Pero that's not always the case, ha. Pwedeng walang quiz. I aim na gusto ko around 3 to 4 quizzes lang. Okay? So, para di naman rin heavy on your part. Okay. So, are there any questions? Any other questions? So, for this week, introduction lang muna tayo. Okay? So, I hope na na-download nyo yung files nyo from Schoology at nabasa nyo. Okay? So, by the way, I already posted the links, okay, on the videos. I hope that you were able to go to Schoology and check it out. Okay, so we'll be using Schoology for as our platform. Okay, so I hope that you're familiar with Schoology and you were able to create an account. So for our videos, we will be using the videos of Sir Enrico Tabag. So Sir Tabag is a teacher from UST. So yung videos natin ang gagamitin niya as a resource kasi maganda naman yung videos niya in discussing the entire concept. Okay? So I hope na you will be able to watch his videos together with our PowerPoints and your book so that we can learn together. By the way, we will be using the book of Rex Banggawan. I'm not sure if you already have it. Meron ba kayong in order or nandyan ba yung copy nyo? Okay. So mga walang copy, I really advise that you secure your own copy if possible. Copies are available in Rex Bookstore. Okay? Saan yung Rex Bookstore? Nasa Tetuan siya. Okay. So, if possible, because hindi lang sa klase natin, kasi it's very useful, okay? Especially if you're gonna take your board exams, I really advise using the book of Sir Rex Banggawan. Okay? Very useful talaga. It's very condensed, okay? Kaya ang daming information. Compared to other books, it's very okay talaga yung book ni Sir Rex. Okay. So, for our PowerPoints, I'm actually using the files or the books of Sir Rex paired with the revenue regulation. Okay. And the NIRC. Okay. So, Are there any more questions before we start off with our introduction to taxation lesson? Questions, clarifications? Guys, I expect that you participate later on. For now, it's okay. Uh, okay. So later on, I expect that you participate ha. Heads up lang. Ayaw ko yung ako lang nagsasalita. Okay? It's okay. If a person has difficulty connecting, no worries. I understand that. Okay. Wait. I-open ko na yung PowerPoint natin. Okay. So for today, brief introduction to taxation tayo. So I hope that you listen and learn. Okay? Wait lang. Okay. Okay. So let's start off with our discussion to taxation. So introduction to taxation. Okay. So ano nga ba si taxation? What do we mean when we talk about taxation? Okay. So taxation covers, when we talk about taxation, it covers basically everything. Okay. Taxation is wherein the state imposes a tax or a fee upon each individual, okay, for the conduct of business or for their daily sustenance. Okay. So yung taxation is the way wherein the government is able to acquire its funds so that they can conduct or create their priority programs or their programs. Okay. So when we talk about taxation, our current tax code is imposed or is affected through the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997. Okay? Also known as NIRC. Okay? It was passed through RA 8484 and is currently amended by RA 10963. What do we mean by RA 10963? If you're familiar or if you have heard the news, ito yung tinatawag nating train or train act. Okay? Excuse me, can I request everyone to turn off their sounds? Okay, paki-mute na lang. Okay, kasi distracting yung sound. Okay. So, yun nga, ang current tax code natin is amended or is affected through the NIRC of 1997 and is currently amended lang. Okay? So, our current tax code is amended through the TRAIN Act. So, nagbago yung tax code natin through the TRAIN Act and is currently being amended again through the Trabaho Bill. Okay? So, yung Trabaho Bill is part 2 of the TRAIN Act. Okay? However, it is not yet approved in the House and in the Senate. So I'm not sure kung kailan matatapos yung TRAIN Act given na COVID and all. Okay. Next is that who has the taxing authority or who is the taxing authority within the Philippines? So the taxing authority within the Philippines is the Bureau of Internal Revenue, which is responsible for the collection of national taxes within the Philippines. Okay? And the current commissioner of the BIR is Sir Cesar Dulay. Okay, so siya ang commissioner ng BIR. So please take note ha, because this name will come up or pop up most of the time later on. Okay, so BIR ang responsible for the collection of national taxes. When it comes to local taxes, sinong responsible? It is the local government unit. Okay. So, what do we mean by taxation? So, when we talk about taxation, taxation can be defined into 84, 82 ba? Let me double check ah. Oh, sorry. Let me double check that. Baka nagkamali ako. National Internal Revenue Code. Republic Act. Okay, sorry. It's 8482 pala. Nagkamali ako. It's 8424. Sorry. Okay. So it's 80 Republic Act 8424. Okay, thank you for that, Miss Fernandez. Okay. So it's actually Republic Act 8424. Okay. So again, what is taxation? Taxation can be described as a state power, as a legislative process, and as a mode of government cost distribution. So what do we mean by a state power? So actually, taxation is an inherent power. Ibig sabihin, even without the Constitution, okay, taxation is granted to all states. Okay? Why? Because taxation serves as the lifeblood of all forms of government. Without taxation, di mabubuhay ang gobyerno. So it means that it is a power of the state to inherently enforce a proportional contribution from its subject to be used for public purposes. Okay. So inherent siya, and if you look at the definition, it's unenforced ha. Ibig sabihin, all forms of people are required to pay taxes. Okay? No one is exempt or no one is above the law from paying taxes. Number two is that when we talk about taxation, it involves a process. Okay? When we enact tax laws, hindi lang basta-basta. Okay? It must involve a rigorous set of process wherein all forms of people are conducted. Why? This is to ensure that no single person or no single group of people are being oppressed by tax laws. Please take note because taxes are very oppressive. That's why there's a need for us to have a legislative process. So kailangan it is enacted by the people and for the people. And lastly is that taxation is a mode of government cost distribution. Taxation is a mode wherein the government can distribute the cost of its project to its people. Diba? Saan ba nakukuha ng gobyerno yung pera panggawa ng mga proyekto nila or ng mga projects nila? It is mainly through taxation. Without taxation, without taxes, the government cannot enact its priority program. Example ngayon, di ba, sa COVID, where does the government acquire the money to pay the people, okay, or to pay the hundreds or thousands of nurses and public health workers who manage COVID, di ba? Or where will the government acquire the money to acquire the vaccine? Of course, it comes from our taxes. Okay. So this is what we mean by taxation. Okay. So there are three inherent definitions here. Number one, it's a state power. It is granted to the state inherently. Number two, it is a process. And number three, it is a government or it is a mode of government cost distribution. Okay. So, why is there a need of tax or bakit ba talaga kailangan ng taxes? Okay? Cannot can't a government exist on creating its own money? Okay, hindi ba gagawa na lang ng pera? No, a government cannot just create its own money. Okay, and a government cannot subsist on creating its on money lang ha, kasi pag gagawan ng gobyerno yun, the government will collapse. Okay, magkakaroon ng hyperinflation. Okay, so bakit kailangan ng taxation again? Taxation exists because of the theory of taxation. Okay. So there is a need for taxation because we have the theory of taxation. What does this theory tell us? Okay. So all government provides a vast array of services to its people, which includes healthcare, public works, public order, safety, education, defense, and social protection. A system of government is indispensable to every society, without which society would fall into anarchy and chaos. As a way for the government to maintain its form and system, continue providing the said benefits, the government needs funding. And the government's necessity for funding is what we call the theory of taxation. Okay? Or this is known as the necessity theory. So the government needs taxation because it needs to subsist or because of the necessity of the government to subsist. Without which, di ba, there would be anarchy and chaos in the Philippines. And not just the Philippines. Throughout the world, di ba? Kapag walang gobyerno, lahat ng mga without taxation, lahat ng mga governments na to cannot subsist or cannot function properly. Okay. Next is, what is the basis of taxation? So alam na natin, okay, bakit kailangan ang taxation ngayon? Saan natin binibase or where is taxation based from? So the government provides the benefit in the form of public services and the people provides the fund. So parang circle siya, okay? So yung basis ng taxation is the mutuality of the need of the people and the government for each other. Okay? So this is what we call the mutuality of taxation. Okay? The mutual support between the government and its people is what we call the basis of taxation. One cannot survive without another. Okay? Please take note. Sir, wala naman akong natatanggap na benefits from the government. Okay? The government does not affect my life directly. Okay? Wala naman akong nasa I don't feel the government's help, especially in COVID. Okay? So, even if you say that, okay, under the concept of taxation, it is conclusively presumed that although you may not have directly benefited from the government, it is presumed that you actually uh, benefited from the government in one way or another. So, actual benefits from the government is not actually needed to presume that you have actually received any benefits from the government. So actually, kahit wala kang natanggap na pera or wala kang natanggap na ayuda, it is already assumed that you have received a form of benefit from the government. Okay? This may be in another form. Example, yung mga streets natin, okay? Or yung safety or the public order. These are the benefits provided by the government. So that's why taxation is very important. Okay. Next, theories of cost allocation. So how do we allocate uh, taxes in the Philippines? Okay. So in the Philippines, we are proportional. Okay. We allocate our taxes proportionally and prospectively. Uh, Ibig sabihin, prospectively and proportionally, uh, we allocate it based on your capacity to pay. Okay? So, when we have taxation or the taxation in the Philippines follows two theories. Number one is the benefit received theory, and number two is the ability to pay. So, what do we mean by the benefit received theory? So, this theory tells us that the more benefit one receives from the government, the more taxes one needs to pay. So of course, mas marami dong matatanggap mong benepisyo mula sa gobyerno, mas malaki yung kailangan mong bayaran. Okay. So, how can we say that you have received more benefits? Of course, the more things you can do in life or the more things you have in life, it is presupposed that this all comes from the work of the government. And of course, the more you have, the more you need to pay. Okay? And the second theory is that the ability to pay. The ability to pay theory presupposes that taxation should also consider the taxpayer's ability to pay. So taxpayers should be required to contribute based on their relative capacity. So kapag milyonaryo ka or if you're a billionaire, you're supposed to pay more compared sa mga middle class workers or compared sa mga low income workers, di ba? The more you have, the more you should pay. Okay. So any questions muna before we move on? Questions or clarifications? Questions, guys? Okay. So these are the basic concepts pa lang tayo ha. So I think na ano naman, naintindihan niyo pa naman. Okay, so let's move on. So, next theory is we have the lifeblood theory or lifeblood doctrine. So ano ibig sabihin nito? From the word itself, it tells us that the taxes are essential and indispensable to the continued subsistence of the government. Katulad ng dugo natin, pag wala tayong dugo, di ba? Ano mangyayari? Mamamatay tayo. Without taxes, the government would be paralyzed and for lack of motive and funds would be unable to operate properly or move properly. Taxes are said to be the lifeblood of the government. Okay? And their prompt and certain availability are imperious are an imperious need towards the government's activities. Okay? So katulad ngayon, without taxes, do you think the government can effectively enact and combat COVID? No, di ba? Kapag walang pera, ang gobyerno, pag walang taxes na nakukuha ang gobyerno, paano niya mababayaran yung mga tao? And without these people, okay, doing the government's work, okay, walang mangyayari sa Pilipinas. So that's why taxes are very important and should be collected without delay. Okay. So if you look at it, that's why the government is very strict, okay, when it comes to tax collection. Okay. So that's why kapag di ka nagbabayad, malaki talaga yung mga penalties. Okay. Next is the implications of the lifeblood theory. So we have some implications from the lifeblood theory. Since the government or since taxes is the lifeblood of the government, it has certain implications. Number one is that taxes are imposed in the absence of a constitutional grant. So even kahit wala sa constitution, okay, even without the grant of taxing of or even without the grant of taxation in the constitution, okay, taxes are still possible, or a government still can tax its people. Okay? So kahit wala sa Philippines Constitution na the Philippine can tax its people, okay, taxation is still possible. Why? It does not, or taxation is not needed, or taxation does not need a constitutional grant, or it does not need to be present within the Constitution, because it is an inherent limitation, or it is an inherent grant or right given to states or given to the government. Number two, claims for tax exemption are construed against the taxpayer. So tax exemption happens wherein a taxpayer need not necessarily pay, since it is, or it reduces the amount of taxes na pwede natin i-kolekta mula sa tao. Okay, kailangan ang person na mag-prove ng tax exemption is the one who is claiming this said exemption. Okay? Number three, the government reserves the right to choose the objects of taxation. Okay, this is very true. Actually, the government can tax anything and everything it would like to. Okay? So, actually, if the government would want to, okay, it has the right to tax the very air we breathe. Okay? So, kahit yung hangin na hinihinga natin, pwedeng taksa ng gobyerno kapag gusto nila. However, governments do not do so because that is counterproductive already. Okay? However, if you look at it, di ba, kahit ano, pwedeng taksa ng gobyerno. Di ba? Narinig nyo yun, gusto rin nilang taksan yung Netflix. The government has the right to do so. Okay? Why? Because again, lifeblood theory. Okay? It is imperative for the government to do so. However, hindi basta-basta. And lastly is that the courts are not allowed to interfere with the collection of taxes. However, the courts are only allowed to adjudicate and decide the validity of tax laws. Okay? So, bawal sila mag-interfere sa collection. Kasi again, bakit? Taxes are the lifeblood of the government, ha? And any delay towards the collection would be counterproductive towards the government's projects and actions. Okay. Next is that the fifth one is for income taxation. So we have the following. I'll just read it out na lang muna. Okay? For now, wag muna natin siyang imamind kasi it's not that important for now. Ha? Number one, income received in advance is taxable upon receipt. Okay? This is a concept in taxation which we'll know later on. Number two, deduction for capital expenditures and prepayments is not allowed as it effectively defers the collection of income taxes. Expense only allowed upon actual use of the property. Lower deduction is preferred for claimable expense, and a higher tax base is preferred when tax objects have multiple tax bases. Okay. So please take note. These are some concepts wherein we need to take note when we have our discussion on income taxes next week. Okay? So for now, take note nyo lang muna. Okay? It's not that important yet for now. However, just take note of this. Pero for theoretical purposes, wala pa siya. Okay? Hindi nyo pa siya maintindihan masyado. Okay. Any questions before we move on? Questions, clarifications, guys?
Sir?
Yes?
Sir, yung benefit receive theory, like, pag more benefit, paano natin siya ma-measure kung more benefit yung pag meron kang, like, you have more in life?
Oh, parang ganun yung ano niya. The more you have in life or the richer you are, it is presumed that the more benefits you have received from the government. Okay? So, sir, wala ngang ginawa ang gobyerno. Actually, it is an assumption that the government is a silent partner in your life. Okay? So, kahit wala siyang ginagawa, it is assumed na may contribution pa rin siya. So, the more you make in life, the richer you become, the more you need to pay. Okay. Kasi yung
Sir,
mga natatanggap mo or nakukuha mo sa life mo, galing daw sa gobyerno, or without the government, you cannot achieve those things. Okay na?
so anong pagkakaiba niya sir sa ability to pay? Kaysa ability to pay sir, kung may meron kang mas marami, so like kailangan mo ring magbayad ng mas
Yes,
marami.
somewhat similar nga sila. The more you have, or the more you have cash to pay, mas kailangan ability to pay, di ba? The more you have in money, the more mo kailangan bayaran. Sa ano, sa benefit received theory, the more benefits you have received from the government. So paano natin nasasabi yung benefits na natatanggap mo? Basically, di ba? This is through the things you have in life. So if you have a car, this is a benefit that you have received. If you have what's this? If you have the money to travel or go out abroad, this is a benefit received from the government. Okay, so similar siya because these are both similar cost concepts. Okay, or cost allocation concept. So ability to pay, kinakount lang kung marami kang pera, pera lang talaga ha. O if marami kang pera or marami kang in-earn, of course, malaki dapat ang bayaran mo. Under sa benefits received theory, kinakount niyo yung benefits na nini-receive mo. The more benefits you have, okay, the more you need to pay. So example, ability to pay theory is more on income tax. Okay, mas malaki yung in-earn mo, mas malaki yung income mo, mas malaki yung kailangan mong bayaran. Under sa benefits received theory, the more benefits you use from the government, mas malaki yung kailangan mong bayaran. Example, you want to travel abroad, okay? It's a benefit given by the government to certain people. Kapag wala kang pera or wala kang kakayahan, you cannot receive this benefit. So the more you travel, the more benefits you receive, and the more you need to pay. So ganun yung difference nila. The more benefits you use from the government, the more you need to pay. Okay? So may pera ka pang kotse. So i-register mo lahat ng kotse mo. So the more taxes you need to pay. So yun ang benefit received theory. While the ability to pay focuses more on your earning potential. Okay ba, Miss Krisha?
Yes sir, thank you sir.
Okay. So that's it. Are there any questions before we move on? Questions, clarifications? Okay.
Sir,
Yes?
sir, so bale sir sa Philippines sir, hindi lang pala isang type of cost allocation ginagamit sir.
Of course, in the Philippines, we have different cost allocations. Okay? Huwag kayong worry sa cost allocations. Ha? Both of these are being used in the Philippines. Okay? We use the benefit received theory and the ability to pay theory in the Philippines. Okay? The more benefits and the mas maraming pera, of course, mas malaki yung kailangan mong bayaran. Okay? Okay na, Ken?
Opo sir, thank you sir.
Okay. So let's move on to our next topic. Okay. So, inherent powers of the state. So ano tong mga inherent powers of the state? So there are three powers of the state. Okay? I think you're familiar with this. Number one is the power to tax. Okay. So the power, what do we mean by inherent? Okay. When we talk about inherent powers of the state, ibig sabihin, these are embedded within the state. Okay? All states or all nations have this power, okay, within them. Number one is the power to tax. Of course, as what I explained before, without the power of taxation, states cannot survive. Therefore, it is inherent within all states that they could tax their people. The second power is police power. The state has the power to police or to conduct or to have a police force within their state, although without the express grant of the Constitution, it can still practice its police power. And lastly is that eminent domain. Okay, this is one of the most scarier. It is scarier, or it is one of the scarier powers of the state here. Okay, so what do we mean by eminent domain? Okay, so eminent domain is the power of the state to take private property. What's this? To take private property in pursuit for the communal good, okay, or for use of the government. So kapag may property ka, pwedeng kukunin ng state. Okay, the government can acquire this. Of course, for a just compensation. Okay. So, this is one of the scarier powers of the state, okay? So kapag may lupa ka, nandyan yung bahay mo, gusto nila, gagawa kasi sila ng daanan, wala kang choice. Okay? You need to sell. Okay. So this is one of the scarier powers of the state. Kahit even if you sue, even if you reach the Supreme Court, you will always lose. Why? Because this is an imminent power, inherent power that is given to the states. All states in the in the world have this. Why? Because the greater good still outweighs the individualistic whims of people. Okay? So any questions on the inherent power of the states? Okay, any questions? Okay. So let's move on. Okay. Okay. So, what is the scope of taxation? Okay. The scope of taxation is or can be summarized as SU SCUP. Okay. Scope. So, the scope of taxation that it is supreme, comprehensive, uh, unlimited, and absolute. Ibig sabihin, the scope of taxation, it can cover basically anything and everything under the sun. Okay? However, it is still subject to the limitations provided by the court. Okay? So, if even though the scope of taxation is supreme, comprehensive, unlimited, and absolute, okay, hindi basta-basta lahat pwedeng taksan. Okay? It still must be necessary and justifiable. Okay? Unfair naman lahat ang tataksan niya, mamamatay na lang yung mga tao. Okay. So, next is limitations. Okay. Ito na nga. Sabi, although the scope of taxation is said to be supreme, comprehensive, unlimited, and absolute, there are still limitations set forth by the uh, tax laws, or there are certain limitations set forth. Okay. This is to ensure that no abuse can happen. So there are two main limitations here na kailangan nating malaman. Number one is inherent, and number two is the constitutional limitations. So let's go over them. Try to take note of these limitations. Okay? What do we mean by inherent and what do we mean by constitutional? Inherent limitations are those innate within taxation itself, and they will always and will ever be present in all forms of taxation. While the constitutional limitations are limitations which stem from the Philippine Constitution. Okay. So please take note that there are 16 constitutional limitations while there are around 9 ata, di ko na malala, 8 or 9 inherent limitations. Okay. Okay na guys. So let's start ha. So, okay. For inherent limitation, we have spine. Okay. Spine. So we have CITUS, Public Purpose International Committee, no delegation of the power of taxation, and exemption. Okay, so let's discuss one by one. What do we mean by the inherent limitation of taxation? Number one, letter S, CITUS. This means that taxation can, or the Philippine taxation can only exist within the jurisdiction or within the territoriality of the Philippines or within the territory of the Philippines. Another word for CITUS is territoriality. Okay, ibig sabihin, we can only tax people or we can only tax things within the territory of the Philippines. Pag lumampas ka na sa territory ng Philippines, the government cannot tax things already or cannot set tax rules on these things already. However, once you arrive or once you are still within the area or within the jurisdiction of the Philippines, pwede ka pang taksan. Okay, that is what we mean by CITUS. Taxation is limited to the area or place where you are staying. Okay? So kapag sa US ka, the Philippines cannot tax you there. Okay? Number two, taxes must be used for public purpose. Okay? No funds or taxes shall be used for any purpose other than public purpose. Okay? Bawal magbigay ang gobyerno ng pera sa isang grupo to or any religious group or to any special person where it would only benefit that person. Okay? Taxes must be used for the greater good or for the public. Number three, international committee. Okay, what do we mean by this? Each nation has their respective tax rules and we respect those tax rules and laws. Okay, so each organization or each government should respect their international sovereignty. Okay? So this means that governments cannot tax each other and they cannot only tax within their jurisdiction. So example, do you know the US Embassy in Rojas, Rojas Boulevard? Okay. So the Philippines cannot tax, okay, any income earned by that embassy. Why? Because of international committee. We respect the sovereignty of each foreign government and they also respect the sovereignty of the Philippines as well. So, any income earned by a foreign government on a foreign soil, okay, or within the Philippines cannot be taxed, and any income earned by the Philippine government on foreign soil cannot be taxed, okay? Why? Because of the concept of international committee. We respect the rights of this government. Okay. Number 4 is non-delegation of the power of taxation. Okay. The power of tax cannot be granted or cannot be delegated to another. The taxation power has been delegated by the legislative branch, okay, and cannot be further redelegated to another. Okay. So again ha, what has been delegated cannot be redelegated. Okay? So, taxation cannot be given or cannot be delegated to another person. This is only given towards the power of taxation can only be given to the executive branch lang ha to collect. So, no other branch or no other person can delegate the power of taxation. Okay? And lastly is exemption. What do we mean by exemption? The government is exempt from taxation. Okay? Of course, it would be counterproductive and it would be uh, ano to? Costly on the part of the government. Tataksan niya yung sarili niya. Why? 'Di ba? If you are taxing yourself, it still goes back to you and you are incurring costs. Therefore, the government is exempt from all forms of taxation with the exemption of GOCCs or income generating uh, activities of the government that are not in line with their purpose. Okay. However, generally, the government is exempt from taxation. Okay? Any questions on the inherent limitations? Questions or
Sir,
clarifications? Yes.
yung exempted po yung government, does that mean yung like work sa government, parang sila yung exempted?
No, no, no. The government itself is exempt from taxation, not the workers. Ha? The workers or the people working for the government are still subject to taxation because they do not represent the government. Even the president is still subject to taxation. Okay. When we talk about exemption, it's the government. Okay. The abstract being itself is exempt from taxation. And all of its subsidiaries. Example, DOH, DPWH, okay? Ano pa ba? Mga DBM, all of these beings are exempt from taxation with certain exemption to the rule. Okay. So kapag GOCC ka, subject ka pa rin sa taxation. Okay. So anong GOCC? What are GOCCs? Are you familiar with GOCCs? Government-owned and controlled corporations. So examples nito, we have SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig. Okay? And we also have GSIS. These entities are still subject to taxation. Okay. However, the main government and all of its subsidiaries, okay, are exempt from taxation. Why? Because it would be counterproductive for the government to tax itself. Parang katulad lang yan, may pera, hihingin mo yung sarili mo ng pera, di ba? So, it would be expensive and it would be costly and it would be counterproductive na tataksan mo yung sarili mo. Sa'yo lang pa rin babalik yung pera, di ba? So, any questions on the inherent limitations?
Sir?
Yes? Yes, sige.
Sir, how about the OFW, sir?
They are still subject to tax on let's not discuss that for now kasi maguguluhan muna tayo. Next meeting natin i-discuss yan when we go to individuals. Okay. For now, let's just
Okay,
focus on the government itself. Uh, any questions or clarifications? Okay na guys. Okay. So, let's proceed to the... Sorry, umubo kasi ako. I need to chew candy lang. Okay, let's go to the constitutional limitations. Okay. Okay. So, actually, nakano pala to? Okay. So, actually, na-explain ko na dyan. Hindi ko pala, nakalimutan ko na may ginawa pala ako for each one. Okay. Okay. Now, eto, we have the constitutional limitations. So, there are 16. So, in order for us to understand, gumawa ako dati ng acronym. Okay? So, excuse me ha. Excuse me lang. I get water. Okay, thank you for waiting. Forgive me ha kasi uh, I'm not actually feeling very well. Hinihika kasi ako. Okay, so we have the 16 constitutional limitations. So we have due pro vers nopim prector educon nodide and score LG. Okay. So these are just acronyms that I created. However, you can do your own. Okay. So there are 16 constitutional limitations to taxation. Let's go over them one by one. Okay. Okay guys, prepare kasi marami to. So baka ma-info overload kayo. Okay. First is, we have the first 5. Due pro vers. Okay. What do we mean by that? Number 1 is due process of the law. Okay. This means that no person should be deprived of life, liberty, or property from taxation without the due process of the law. Everything should pass through the eye of the law. Okay? So kapag tataksan ka or may reklamo ka, it should pass through the process of the law. Every tax law created, every tax exemption created, or every act or every form of taxation should pass through the eye of the law or due process of the law. So di pwedeng basta-basta sasabihin na lang ng gobyerno or ikaw, Hana, tataksan kita ng 100% ng income mo. Bawal yan ha. The government should pass through the due process of the law. That's why tax laws take a fairly long time bago ma-enact because it passes through everything. Okay? Everyone should be convened or everyone should be informed of the law. Okay? So kapag sinisingil ka ng sinisingil ka ng BIR for no payment of taxes, kailangan dumaan muna sila sa due process of the law. Okay, number 2, uniformity rule in taxation. This means that everyone, okay, is taxed equally. Okay. Regardless, okay? Regardless kung mayaman ka or mahirap ka, lahat ng tao is equal and uniform. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng tao pwedeng taksan. Okay. That is what we mean by the uniformity rule. Everyone is uniformly taxed. Okay. Although, yung tax rates natin may be different, ha? Okay. Basta as long as everyone is taxed, yun ang ibig sabihin ng uniformity rule. Kahit ikaw pa si Manny Villar or si Lucio Tan or si Henry, patay naman si Henry C. Or ikaw pa si Manny Pacquiao, or ikaw pa ang pinakamahirap sa buong Pilipinas. Everyone will be taxed the same. Okay. That is what we mean by uniformity rule of taxation. Number 3, equal protection of the law. Okay? Excuse me. Taxes or taxation or the law protects everyone. Okay? So, if you find it unfair or if may reklamo ka about sa amount na tinatax sa'yo, the law still protects you. You could still go towards the court for your protection. Okay? Di pwede basta-bastang kunin na lang mga bagay mo. Okay? The government cannot just tax you unfairly or cannot just take your property. Everyone, regardless of who you are, okay, kahit wala kang pera, kahit ikaw ng pinakamayaman, you are given the protection of the law from taxation. Okay. Why? Because again, taxation can be unjustly sometimes. Okay? Unjust sometimes si taxation. Okay? Kasi sa taxation, gusto niya singil ng singil. So sometimes, naaabuso na ng gobyerno yung taxation. That's why everyone can be protected. Okay. Number 4, progressive system of taxation. So ito actually, the Philippines has a progressive system of taxation. What do we mean by progressive? The more you earn, the more you need to pay. So this is in line with the ability to pay theory, di ba? The more you earn, the more you need to pay. Okay. So, the Philippines right now has a 35% tax rate. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung pinakamataas na tax natin ngayon is at 35%. Okay. Can you guess what's the highest tax rates in the world? What is the highest rate in the world? What country imposes the highest tax in the world?
Sir, Canada ata, sir. Hindi ako sure.
The highest country having the highest tax rate in the world is Sweden. At around 76% of your income. Yung highest marginal tax rate is in Sweden. 76% ng income mo. So kapag nag-earn ka ng 100 pesos, 24 pesos lang maiuwi mo. Okay? However, if you go there, di ba? Sweden ba yung happiest place in the world, di ba? Why? Because everything is free. As long as taxes, actually, ang ano lang is that, as long as our taxes are used properly and correctly, ang Pilipinas dapat aasenso because however of extreme and systemic corruption, yun lang bang issue? We don't want to go into that na, di ba? So, yun lang. If you look at it, di ba, how can people in Sweden accept a 76% tax out of their income? Di ba? Magwo-work ka ng 100 pesos, 24 pesos lang maiuwi mo. Pero people are all okay with that because they know that their taxes go to the proper place. And marami silang benefits na nakukuha. Okay. So, that's the benefit of taxes. They actually help out the people if used correctly. Okay. However, if used improperly, okay, yun ang daming corruption, very inappropriate yung system, okay? However, we don't want to go to that topic na kasi magiging mahaba yung kwento. Okay. And the 5th one is pre-worship rule. Okay. Ewan ko bakit nakalagay ito dito, pero again, under the pre-worship rule, each person can worship any religion or any God that he or she wants to. So kapag if you believe in Jesus Christ or in Allah or in Buddha, okay lang. Walang pakialam ang gobyerno. The government cannot interfere with whatever form of worship you would want. So if you would want to worship Satan or sino ba or yung mga mythical gods or yung mga si Bathala, okay, walang pakialam ng gobyerno. Okay? Every person has the right to worship any form of God he or she wants. Okay. So these are the first 5 ba? We have due pro verse. Okay. Okay ha? Due pro verse. Okay. Due process of the law, uniformity in taxation, equal protection. What's this? What's the pro? Progressive and free worship rule. Next is no pimp reptar. Okay. So let's go on to the next form, ha? So, no pimp reptar, we have 4. Number 1, non-imprisonment for non-payment of debt or poll tax. Okay. So kapag di ka nagbabayad ng utang, eto na, sa mga mahilig umutang, don't worry, di kayo pwedeng ipreso. Okay. So pag di mo talaga kayang bayaran utang mo, okay, di ka pwedeng ipapreso ng kaibigan mo. Okay? So, non-imprisonment for non-payment of debt or poll tax. Okay. Take note ha, yung di ka lang pwedeng ipapreso dito is poll tax. What do we mean by poll tax? Sedula. Do you know what sedula is? Nakakuha na ba kayo ng sedula, guys? Okay. Sa mga pa talaga dito, di pa na-experience yung life in yung mga requirements, when you have work or when you are already working, you'll encounter itong sedula. Okay. So, what does a sedula look like? Okay. Sedula, ito yung identification natin as a person. Dati, uso to, especially nung taon pa ng mga Kastila, di ba? Yung pinunit nila yung sedula. Okay. Pero ngayon, ano bang itsura ng sedula? Okay. So, I'll just screen share. Sinerch ko lang So, ganito yung form ng sedula. Nakikita nyo? So, para sa mga di nakakaalam ngayon, now you know what a sedula looks like. Ganito yung itsura niya. Okay? So, yan yung binabayaran. 5 piso lang yan, guys. Okay. So, kapag gusto mo ma-experience yung sedula, pumunta ka sa City Hall. Okay. You can get it for 5 pesos. Okay. So, ngayon at least alam niyo na yung itsura ng sedula. Okay. Wait lang. Sorry. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Okay. So again, the 6th limitation is that bawal ka mapreso kapag di ka nagbabayad ng utang. Okay. Number 7, non-impairment of obligations or contracts. What do we mean by this? Any obligations or contracts entered into the Philippine government, okay, should not be impaired by tax laws. Okay, may loan na ba kayo? Have you tapos na ba or currently taking up?
Tapos na po, obligation.
Okay. So, di ba? Obligations and contracts. Article, 1164 ba yun?
56, sir.
56 1156.
1156.
An obligation is to give, to do, or not to do, di ba? Okay. So, ibig sabihin, any obligation or contract entered into by the Philippine government cannot be impaired by any tax laws, ha? So, that is what we mean by non-impairment of tax laws. So, obligations and contracts shall prevail against tax laws. Why? This is to ensure that the sovereignty of obligations and contracts are still kept intact, okay, in lieu of tax laws. So tax laws cannot break obligations and contracts that the Philippine government has entered into. Okay, Philippine government lang ha, not individuals. Okay. So kapag individual lang ang pumasok, they still need to abide by Philippine laws. While if the Philippine government entered into any contracts or obligations, okay, it should not be impaired by any tax laws. Okay. Next, number 3. Exemption of religious or charitable entities from property taxes. Okay. So, ito, if you are a charitable entity, so, religious or charitable, example, Bantay Bata, Ateneo, okay, these entities are exempt from property taxes. What is property tax? This is tax on the property lang yung lupa. Okay. So, they are not required to pay property taxes. Okay, that is the third one. Okay? And lastly is non-appropriation of public funds or property uh, for the benefit of a church, sect, or religious system. So ito na guys. Okay. Diba? There's a saying that ano yun? Separation of the church and the state. Okay. This is it. This statement is basically it. Okay. It states that that state does not interfere or does not or must not appropriate or must not help out any church, sect, or religion. Okay. Bawal siya magbigay ng ayuda or ng appropriation of any public funds or properties for the benefit of these religious institutions. So it tells us that the state must not interfere with the church or must not mingle with the church. Okay. Yun ang separation of the church from the state, ha? The state should not interfere or should not provide any funds for the benefit of any religion, church, or sect, or any system of religion. Bawal yan. Okay. So that is the second one. No pimp rector. So no ano yun? Nakalimutan ko na lang yung saan nanggaling yun ha. Ano natin ha? No pimp, no imprison. Ano to? Non-imprisonment for non-payment, no impairment, religious property taxes, and appropriation for religious uses. Okay. So that's it. So meron na tayong 9. So let's go on to the remaining. Okay? Any questions muna before we move on? Meron na tayong 9 ha. Are there any questions or clarifications? Okay. So let's move on to the remaining constitutional limitations. Okay. So ito is educon nodide. Okay. So what do we mean by educon nodide? We have number 1, exemption of non-stock, non-profit educational institutions from taxation. So, why does the government grant exemption to educational institutions? Bakit? Again, the government prioritizes education. Okay? Gusto ng gobyerno na all or every Filipino person or every Filipino citizen within the Philippines is properly educated. And in order for the government to ensure this, it provides a benefit to non-stock, non-profit educational institutions. Okay. So sabi ng gobyerno, pag gagawa ka ng eskwela at non-stock, non-profit to, okay, you are free from taxation. Why? Because the government alone, let's go to reality, di ba? No single government alone can provide enough benefit, okay, for all of its people. That's why it needs help from the public sector. So kapag ang public sector daw gagawa ng educational institution, of course, bibigyan kita ng exemption. Provided na non-stock, non-profit ka. Okay? What do we mean by non-stock, non-profit? You are not there for income, but rather you are just there to teach. Okay? So example is Ateneo. Ateneo is a non-stock, non-profit religious institution. So therefore, it is exempt from taxation. Okay? Any questions? Clarifications? Hello guys, questions? Okay ba? Okay. So next, number 2, concurrence of a majority of all members of Congress for the passing of a law granting tax exemption. So kapag gagawa daw ng batas ang Pilipinas granting anyone exemption, kailangan majority. Okay? Ibig sabihin, 2/3 of all members of Congress must pass a law granting tax exemption. Bakit? Because, again, any exemption, okay, or tax exemption reduces the amount of taxes na pwedeng i-kolekta ng gobyerno. And pag binabawasan niya yung amount of taxes na pwedeng i-kolekta ng gobyerno, ano mangyayari? Mababawasan yung pondo ng gobyerno. So in response to this, okay, the government, okay, or the legislative body, if they want to pass an exemption law, there must be a majority. And what is a majority? 2/3 dapat to. Okay? So any questions? Clarifications? On this part, meron? Wala. Next, non-diversification of tax collection. Okay, taxes must be collected for the government. Okay? Dapat hindi pwedeng gamitin para sa ano-ano ha. Di pwede para kay governor, di pwede para kay mayor. Okay? Taxes or tax collection should be used for public purposes, or basically, taxes should only be used for the government's use. Okay? Bawal gamitin para sa ibang purpose. Okay? So that is what we mean by non-diversification of tax collection. Bawal i-divert sa ibang pondo or sa ibang tao ang taxes. And number 4, the same, di ba? Naalala nyo sa inherent, sa spine, non-delegation of the taxing power. Bawal i-delegate again ang taxing power ha. What has been delegated cannot be redelegated. Okay? So, anong pinagawa mo sa ibang tao or sa Philippine government cannot be delegated to another. Okay? Bakit? Kasi pwede kasing abusuhin to pag i-delegate mo na naman sa ibang tao or ipapagawa mo sa ibang tao. Again, the power of taxation is very powerful. So, bawal basta-basta ibigay sa ibang tao. Okay. And lastly, that's it for the last three. For the next three ha. So, ito yung edu ko nodide. So, we have edu, concurrence, NODI, and NODE. NODI is non-diversification and NODE is non-delegation. So, edu, con, NODIDE. And lastly is, ano ba yung last one? Nakalimutan ko. Scores LG. Okay. SC, HORLG. Okay. Ano to? SC, Supreme Court, House of Representatives, at saka local government. Check natin ha. So, we're almost done with the 16. What are the last 3 constitutional limitations? Okay. So, the first one, non-impairment of the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to review tax cases. Okay. So, the Supreme Court can still review tax cases ha, in all of its capacity. Okay. So, the power or the Supreme Court still has the power to review tax cases. So, anong difference? The legislative branch is the branch that enacts or levies tax laws. Ibig sabihin sila gumagawa ng batas. The executive branch is the one who executes. And the judicial branch or judiciary branch is the one who interprets. Okay, yun ang tatlo. Remember the 3. Okay. Next is we have appropriations. Ito, House of Representatives. Appropriations, revenue, or tariff bills, or any tax laws must exclusively originate from the House of Representatives. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? Any tax laws or anything that involves public funds, okay? Yung bill na yun must originate from the House of Representatives. Okay? Do you know how tax law is created? Alam nyo ba paano? If you're not that entirely familiar, ganito. Diba? Member of the House or a congressman will file a bill, okay? Or a senator may file a bill also. Tapos, this will be approved within the House Committee. Pag na-approve siya sa House Committee, it will pass through the House. So, after 3 readings, tapos pag pumasa to, itataas na sa Senate. Okay? The Senate will also have a copy sponsored by a certain senator. So again, i-approve to sa Senate. Pag pumasa, magkakaroon ng BICAM or Bicameral Committee wherein both the House and the Senate need to approve. So pag pumasa to, okay, ipapapirma na kay Digong. Okay. So, however, pag appropriations, revenues, or any bills involving public funds should exclusively originate from the House of Representatives. Ibig sabihin, di pwede ang senator ang unang gagawa nito. Okay? So only the House of Representatives can create tax laws or appropriation or revenue bills. Okay. So, klaro ba yung number 2? And number 3, the delegation of the taxing power to the local government unit. So, in an exception to the non-delegation rule is that the power to tax can be delegated to the local government unit. Okay, so ang local government unit, example, Zamboanga, can create their own tax laws. Okay, yun yung tawag natin yung mga local tax laws natin. Okay, sino mag-approve? Ang sangguniang panglungsod or local city council. They could create local tax laws. Example of local tax laws, we have yung mga business permits, okay? Local business permits or local taxes. Okay, these are different from national taxes and also should be paid. Okay, because the local governments would also need their own money to function. That's why the Constitution granted the power towards the local governments to levy their own tax laws. Okay. So those are the constitutional limitations. Okay? Any questions or clarifications? Gets ba, guys? Okay. So let's have a 5-minute break kasi alam ko too much information na. Okay. So let's have a 5-minute break so that you can drink water or makapagpahinga rin kayo. And also para makapagpahinga rin yung throat ko. Okay? So 5-minute break. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay. Continue. So I hope na nakapag-ano kayo. You had a short break. Okay. So let's continue our discussions. Okay. So natapos na natin yung constitutional limitations. So ngayon is stages to the power of taxation. So ito nga, as what I explained, paano ba or how does taxation work? So there are 3 stages. The first stage is what we call the levy or imposition. This involves the creation of a tax bill or a tax law. Okay. So nandito, again, this is involved mainly through the House of Representatives and later on through the Senate. Okay, so ang legislative branch would be the one who creates or makes or levies the tax laws. Okay, the correct term is levy, ha? What do we mean by levy? This is the creation of a new tax law. Okay, next is, once may tax law na, anong next stage? Of course, the next stage is to assess and collect taxes. Sino naman ang responsible dito? This is done through the executive department. Okay. Sinong responsible dito? Of course, this is the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Okay. May ano ba dito? Does anyone's parent here work at BIR? May mga tatay nanay ba dito na nagtatrabaho sa BIR? Wala? Meron ba? Wala ata. Okay. So, the BIR. So, question, ito. Anong pangalan ng BIR sa Tagalog? Okay. Can anyone tell me? What is the BIR? BIR in English is Bureau of Internal Revenue. So, ano ang BIR sa Tagalog? Okay. So, BIR in Tagalog is Kawanihan ng Rentas Internas. Okay. Okay. Kawanihan ng Rentas Internas. Okay. So, take note lang, ha. Pag tatanungin sa inyo, ano bang BIR sa Tagalog? So, Kawanihan ng Rentas Internas. Okay. So, yun yung BIR. Okay. So, sila ang responsible for the assessment and collection of taxes. So, if yung parents nyo negosyante, okay, kinakatukutan talaga nila yung love letter ni BIR. Okay. So, ayaw talaga ng mga negosyante yung love letter na yan. Kasi, Pag may love letter, most of the time may babayaran na naman. Okay. And lastly is review of tax cases. The third stage is, of course, di ba, pag may pinasang tax laws, sometimes kailangan may review. Again, tax laws are not perfect. Okay? So, how do this review happen? It is through the judiciary branch. Okay, so sinong responsible dito? Of course, first we have the municipal trial court. Okay? Tapos pag pwedeng dumaan sa regional, pero most probably dadaan na to sa Court of Tax Appeals. Okay, so CTA, pag wala pa rin, pag di pa rin pwede, last dadaan to sa Supreme Court. Okay. So pag di pa rin pumasa sa Supreme Court or wala ka ng last recourse ha. So last na yung choice mo or last body to decide is the Supreme Court. Okay? So these are the 3 stages of taxation. Okay. Any questions? Clarifications? Okay. So if there are none, let's proceed. Okay. So, next. So, what are the objects of taxation? Okay. Or sa ano bang purpose ng legislative branch? So, the legislative branch, okay, has the following powers. Number 1 is they have the power to check the purpose of taxation. Para saan ba? Okay? Yung tax na ito. Okay? So the legislative branch has a wide range of powers. Okay? One of their powers is to decide where does this tax go or what is the purpose of this tax. Okay? Number 2, the object of taxation. Okay? So the legislative branch can decide as to kung ano ang tataksan nila. So, di ba? Excuse me. If you read that article, there was one congressman who wanted to tax Netflix. So that is an object of taxation, yung Netflix. Number 3, they could decide kung magkano or anong rate ang itatax nila. Okay, pwedeng 1%, pwedeng 50%. Next, the kind of tax that would be imposed. So there are several types of taxes. We will not be discussing it now. Okay, later, next meeting, maybe I'll discuss this passing through. Okay? Para alam natin yung mga types of taxes. Okay. Income tax ba siya? VAT ba siya? Or anong form of taxes siya? Okay. Next is apportionment between LGU and national government. So, dito pwede nilang i-decide kung magkano yung mapupunta kay local government at magkano yung mapupunta kay national government. And next is sa letter S, situs. Silang magde-decide kung saan, anong scope ng tax na to. Okay? At sino-sino ang pwedeng taksan. And last one is M. Paano yung method ng collection nito? Okay, so these are the powers or discretion on the exercise of taxation by the legislative branch. Okay. Any questions or clarifications? Okay. So next, what is assessment and collection? This is referred to the incidence of taxation. Okay. Again, this is implemented by the administrative branch of the government or the executive branch of the government. Okay. So, situs of taxation, what do we mean by situs? This is called the place of taxation. It is the tax jurisdiction that has the power to levy taxes upon the tax object. It serves as the frame of reference in gauging whether tax objects are within or outside the jurisdiction of the taxing authority. So, anong situs natin? We have the different situses. For business, income, tax on service, tax on sale of goods, property, and personal situs. So for now, wag na muna natin i-focus dito. Okay? Because later on, may discussions tayo when we go to taxation on individuals. Okay? Mas magiging in-depth yung discussion natin. So for now, just take note of the different situses of taxation. Okay? However, when we go in-depth, mas doon na natin siya i-discuss para di tayo maguluhan. Okay. So we have the other doctrines in taxation. Just take note lang ha. These are not very important doctrines. However, just take note. We have the Marshall doctrines, then we have the Holmes. Holmes tayo, hindi Holmes. Okay. Holmes. Okay. So ano itong mga doctrines? I'll just discuss this in passing. Marshall doctrine tells us that the power to tax is the power to destroy. This is actually true. Okay? Taxation can destroy anything or everything under the sun. Why? If tax that is being imposed is so extreme, di ba? Yung mga tao, wala ng pera. Okay? O mawawalan ng pera so they cannot pay. Okay? That's why the power to tax is the power to destroy. That is the Marshall doctrine. Holmes doctrine is that kina-counter niya yung Marshall. Sabi niya is that the power to tax is not the power to destroy as long as the court stands. So sinasabi niya ng Holmes doctrine is that, okay, as long as nandyan yung court, tax cannot destroy because the court can still counter or can still reverse tax rules. Number 3, perspectivity of tax laws. Tax laws cannot be applied retrospectively. Okay? Tax laws are only applied prospectivity or prospectively. Okay? Ibig sabihin moving forward. Okay. Number 5, non-compensation or set-off. Di mo pwedeng, pag may utang ang gobyerno sa'yo, di mo pwedeng i-offset. Ha? Bawal mag-offset or set-off ng taxes. Okay? Bawal ha? Again, if the government has any other dues or deliverables from you, bawal tong bawasan against your taxes. Number 5, non-assignment of taxes. Di mo pwedeng i-assign sa ibang tao yung taxes mo katulad ng utang. Okay? Di mo pwedeng sabihin sa gobyerno, okay, si Pedro na magbabayad ng tax ko. Bawal yan. Number 5, imprescribability of tax laws. Tax laws are forever. Sabi nga nila, there are only three things that last forever. Number 1, debt. Of course, debt is forever. Number 2, change. Change is forever. And number 3, taxes are forever. Okay? There are only 3 constant things in the world. Debt, change, and taxes. Okay. Next, doctrine of estoppel. Wag na natin discuss yan kasi maguguluhan lang kayo. Number 8, judicial non-interference. Okay, the courts cannot interfere with the collection of taxes. Again, the courts cannot interfere with the collection of taxes. They could only decide on tax cases. Okay. And number 9 is strict construction of the law. Okay. Tax laws should be construed strictly or should be interpreted strictly. Bawal ang loose interpretation of tax laws, okay? Because that would be detrimental towards the government. So tax laws should be interpreted in the strictest sense of the law. Okay. Next is double taxation. Double taxation occurs when the taxpayer is taxed twice by the same taxing jurisdiction for the same thing. So actually, double taxation is not hindi siya bawal. Okay? Hindi siya bawal. But it is discouraged by the law. Okay? Hindi siya bawal, but it is discouraged. So if double taxation happens to you, edi lugi ka. However, the government or the tax laws try to avoid double taxation. So there are 2 forms of double taxation. Number 1 is we have the following elements pala of taxation. We have the primary element and the secondary elements. Okay. Primary element is the same object, while the secondary elements are we have the same type, same taxing jurisdiction, same purpose, and same tax period. So kindly remember these 5 items for double taxation. Okay. So when does double taxation happen? Double taxation happens typically kapag ang same object or parehas na bagay tinataksan na by the same type or tax type, by the same taxing jurisdiction, for the same purpose, and for the same tax period. Okay. So pag nangyayari to, actually dinidiscourage lang ng government. However, this is hindi to bawal. Okay. This is not strictly prohibited in the law. Okay. So there are 2 types of double taxation. We have direct double taxation wherein the primary and secondary elements are present, and we have indirect double taxation wherein one or more of the secondary elements is not present. Okay? So, what happens pag may double taxation? Typically, wala lang. Wala kang magagawa. Okay? Once you are subject to double taxation, wala kang magagawa. Okay. So, it's just a note that double taxation may happen. Okay. Next is escapes from taxation. So, we have the following forms of escape from taxation. There are two categories. Number one, categories that result to loss of government revenue. We have tax evasion. This is illegal, ha? Tax evasion is the illegal evasion of paying taxes. Okay? While tax minimization is the using or the use of tax laws to legally permissible means to minimize the amount of taxes that you could pay. So tax evasion is pwede kang mapunta sa preso. While tax minimization, you use the laws provided by the tax court, okay, to legally minimize the amount of taxes that you need to pay. So sinong gumagawa ng tax minimization pag mag-hire ka ng tax accountant? And tax exemption is the one provided by the law. Okay? Next is categories that do not result to a loss of government revenue. Shifting, ito yung tinatransfer mo yung tax sa ibang tao. Okay, example nito is VAT, di ba? Pag bumibili kayo ng Jollibee, di ba may makikita kayo sa resibo na VAT. Actually, transfer ng tax ni Jollibee. Sa kanya yun, transfer niya sa inyo. Okay? Next is transformation, wherein ano yung transformation? You transform the loss. Okay? Correct ba? Wait lang ha. Wait. Nakalimutan ko na yung transformation from capitalization. Wait. Transformation. Ano ba yung difference ng transformation from capitalization? Wait lang ha. Nakalimutan ko talaga. Let me check my notes. Okay, wait lang. Kasi hindi ko na maalala yung transformation. Do you have your book there? Can you describe to me anong sinasabi niya ng transformation from from capitalization? Does anyone have the book there? Okay.
Yung
Okay na. Thank you. Nabasa ko na. Thank you for that. So transformation happens wherein yung tao or yung taxpayer wanting to avoid the payment of taxes tries to recoup the taxes by trying to transform or improve services. Okay. Improve services to recoup losses. So tinatry niyang bawiin yung taxes by improving his services or yung costing niya or yung mga services na meron siya sa company to recoup his losses. While capitalization is kinakapitalize niya or pina-form part of the cost of the product. So ibig sabihin, capitalization, si taxpayer, siya lang kumukuha ng tax or binibear part niya na yung taxes as a form or as a part of his cost. Okay. So ibig sabihin, nagiging part na ng gastos niya yun. While shifting is transferred to another person. Okay? Any questions, guys? Questions or clarifications? Any concerns? Okay. Next is we have tax amnesty. So what is tax amnesty? Tax amnesty is limited offer by the government for a specified group of taxpayers to pay a definite or defined amount in exchange for the forgiveness of a tax liability, including interest and penalties. While tax condonation is a state wherein desist or refrains from exacting or inflicting or enforcing something as well as to restore what has been taken. This is a continuation of a tax liability is equivalent to the nature of a tax exemption. So pag kinundon yung tax liability mo, ibig sabihin di mo na kailangan bayaran. While amnesty, ibig sabihin magbabayad ka pa rin pero for a portion. So what's the difference between tax amnesty and condonation? So amnesty forgives the criminal liability and a reduction of the civil liability, while condonation only forgives the civil liability. Okay? So example, amnesty, may 100 million na utang ka, okay, plus penalty of 50 million. So sabi ng government, we will provide you a tax amnesty. So, di mo na kailangang bayaran yung interest at penalties, okay? At ang babayaran mo is 50% na lang ng 100 million. So that is amnesty. Reduction of the amount that you need to pay, including forgiveness of the criminal liability. While condonation, finorgive yung lahat ng utang mo, however, only the civil liability. You can still be sued criminally or failure to pay taxes. Okay? So yun ang difference ha. Amnesty forgives the criminal and there's a reduction towards the civil liability. While in condonation, typically, only the civil liability is forgiven. Okay? So any questions or clarifications? That's it for our discussion towards introduction to taxation. Okay. Questions, guys? So, di ba ang haba-haba ng topic ni taxation? Okay. That's just the introduction part. Okay. Any questions and or clarifications? Okay. Again, next meeting, we will have our recitation. So I expect everyone to read, okay, the topics beforehand. Okay. If you do not have the book, I will be posting the PowerPoints beforehand. Okay. So, ipopost ko lahat ng PowerPoints, read them beforehand. Okay. And next meeting, recitation tayo. Okay. So, if you do not recite, I will really give you 0, ha? So, if you do not recite, you will get a very low score for this class. Pero typically, since wag kampante, okay? Typically, I do not fail students given na COVID. Pero wag kampante guys, ha? If you do not do anything in this class, of course, you will fail given na kahit COVID. Okay? However, if you give it your best, and nakita ko nag-effort naman kayo, don't worry. Pinapasa ko naman lahat ng estudyante ko. Okay? So, again, I want you to participate, ha? Yun ang gusto ko. I want everyone to participate. Okay? You are accounting students, so I expect much from you. Okay? So, if there are no more questions, that's it for today. Okay? Again, if you have any questions, you can PM me Monday to Friday, any time of the day. Wag lang Sabado and Sunday, ha? Saturdays, I have masteral. So, please don't disturb me talaga during the weekends. Okay? If there are no more questions, that's it for today. Okay? Stay safe and God bless. I'll be also posting this video. I recorded this. So I'll be posting it on YouTube within the week and I'll share this to you so that pwede nyong panoorin. Okay? So don't worry. Huwag kayong matakot sa taxation. I'll try to make this as enjoyable as possible. Okay? Yung rule, for the guidelines on the video, I'll give it next week. Okay? So, ingat and God bless.
Thank you, sir.
Ingat, ingat.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.